I'm eating this apple before I'm eating. But I'm about to give you an important life lesson about women. Yeah, about those beautiful creatures called women. Damn, this apple's good. I got a meeting in 12 minutes. And so I wanted to jump on here real quick while I was thinking about this. I just got out of a meeting, and sometimes you just feel the need to create. So I felt the need to create something before my next meeting. So, all right. So let's jump right into this. I want you to think about yourself like this pen. This pen is to highlight things. That's what it's for. It's actually called a bright liner. So it's used to highlight things in books, on paper, whatever you want it to highlight it on, right? So when this highlighter here is used to highlight things inside of this book or any book, it is functioning the way it was created, right? That's what this highlighter does. When you use it, how it was intended to be used is functioning how it is functioning how it was created to function. Now, why does that matter? Okay, women work the same way. So, what does that mean? I'm glad you asked. Okay, so uh, my kings, I want you guys to think about it like this. If you're the pen. If you are not busy functioning on basically your paper, highlighting things, you know, operating in the way that you were created, then if you are not doing that, if you're not operating the way that you were created, then you're here, but you're not doing anything, right? And so with a woman, she comes along. We're gonna call her this modem, right? So what can a pen do with the modem? Well, the answer is nothing, because the pen's function is to highlight things. Well, on this black modem, there's nothing to highlight. So now the pen and the highlighter are just hanging out together, doing nothing together. And so the pen is not being used in its proper function, and neither is this modem, because this modem functions best when it's plugged up to something operating the computer program that needs to be run, right? That's what I mean, or saving documents, whatever, right? So that's what this function is. So if the pen is not operating in its function, there is nothing for this modem to help him with. So what is that? What happens is men, we usually, women start to drive us nuts when we don't have something that we are working on or working towards. Because women are, you have to think about women as multipliers. So you give her a seed, she's got to give you a baby. You give her a house, she's going to give you a home. And so if you understand that women are multipliers, if you as this pen are functioning doing nothing, she's going to multiply whatever you feel about yourself while you're doing nothing. So if you feel depressed, you feel angry, you feel resentful to yourself about the fact that you're not doing nothing, she's going to multiply that. So because her function is, she is a multiplier, and she is also a help mate. So if you're not doing nothing, there's nothing she can help you with. So You don't need a woman if you are not doing nothing, because then you'll be depressed. Not only because you're not doing nothing, but then you got this woman in your ear bothering you because you're not doing nothing, because her job is to multiply. So instead, but when you're busy functioning, using yourself properly, like the pen, we use it properly when we're, reading the book, highlighting, and going through highlighting different things in the book. That is when this pen, when you're operating in whatever your gifts are, whatever your talent is at, if you're doing that, you don't have anything to worry about when the woman comes into your life, because you're already functioning in a way that she can add value to. So for this, we're just using the modem as the thing, right? So if you're functioning in your gift, whatever that is, so her function in your life may be to help you expand on whatever it is you're already working on. So maybe in this case, it's to, maybe your thing is, um, you're you're writing a novel, right? Well, maybe she can look at the novel and give you a perspective that you didn't see, right? So she's able to, and then that novel ends up turning out, better than you thought, because she was able to help you multiply what you were working on. And this applies to when you deal with her. You are also, by you staying in your gifts and operating the way you're supposed to, you are going to be an example for her to operate and discover and operate in whatever her gifts are. So it's almost like it creates this circle when you're both operating in your gifts, and you're not competing with each other, because you don't have to. You're both operating where you should be operating at. I was thinking about this today, and this applies to anything in life, not just women. I was thinking about this today. I saw somebody who did really good in an area. Well, actually, I'll just say the area. It doesn't matter. Amazon FBA. So I was like, man, I should do Amazon FBA. But based on, I was talking to my coach today, and I was telling him about, that I was thinking about doing it. And what he was saying to me is, why are you determined, or why are you trying to operate in an area that is not generally where you're gifted? Have you explored operating in the completely in the area that you are gifted in? And the answer, and then we started brainstorming different ways that I could stay within the gift that I have, and then, do things in that realm before I start looking outside. Now, even if I operate within my gift, I still have to keep growing in my gift. So it's just like when you get a woman, the person you are when you first meet her is not going to be the person. You can't be that same person in 20 years. You're going to have to keep growing and becoming and elevating yourself as you go. Why? Because anything that becomes stagnant eventually dies. Entropy sets in, and it tends, anything basically, I think this the thing goes, I know I'm going to butcher this, but uh when we stay stagnant, we tend more towards disorder, is the way things work. So if we understand that, the last thing we want to do is, when we get a woman, is to be stagnant. We want to keep elevating, keep changing, keep growing. And it's not for her, it is for you. Because men, we do uh crazy things when we are not functioning in the way we should. We are not functioning properly. We do crazy things, and properly is relative. Only you know what your thing is that you're supposed to be, do, and is in your heart. Only you know what that is. So I don't know what that is for you, but that's all I mean by when I say properly. Um, so if you understand again that women are multipliers, it's best that you have something for her, that you're doing something, so there's something for her to multiply. Because if not, the only thing that's gonna your stagnation is just gonna multiply your frustration, because she's just gonna let you know, or you're just not gonna, she's just gonna, you're gonna know by the way that you interact with her that she is multiplying what you already feel. And that is not a good feeling. Like for me, if you're going to do bad, and this is something I didn't know early on in life, you are best to do bad by yourself. There is no reason that you need to bring someone along for the time period that you're not doing anything, because all you're doing is multiplying your own frustration, because now you have somebody watching you not do nothing. I mean, if I'd rather nobody watch me do nothing than to have somebody just sitting there watching me doing nothing, knowing I'm doing nothing, and it's just multiplying my frustration about the fact that I ain't doing nothing. Like, you don't need that in your life. All right. So I know this. So you don't need that in your life, and it's not going to better your life. You know what I mean? So I want you to figure out what your path is. And your path doesn't have to be somebody else's path on Instagram or Facebook. They talk about how they made millions. Well, they made millions in a way that works for them. Like me, I'm not a super analytical guy. That's not who I am. So I know that about myself. I have to keep that in mind. You know what I mean? So I have to operate in a way that is not that. But that's okay, because I'm gifted in the area that I'm gifted in, just like you're gifted in the area that you're gifted in. But you have to stop trying to operate in areas you're not gifted in, because all that does is lead to misery. And if you get a woman, the multiplier, to come along with you while you're operating in areas you're not supposed to be operating in, it's going to lead to frustration and more drama than it's worth. So I hope that makes sense. You are the pen. You function best when you're doing what the pen does, which in this case is highlight. That's what the pen, this highlighter, was created for, to function in that role of highlighting whatever it is. You were created with the function, and only I don't know what that is for you, but I know you have to discover it, so that when you operate in that area, you feel like you're operating in a sense of flow, in a sense of uh I don't know what the other word there is, but you're just operating in a sense of something that you can feel and understand, right? But when you're operating, when you're operating out of your area and not being in the area where you can actually use your gift, it just leads to frustration. And then when you get a woman on top of that, in that same area, it's gonna lead to you being frustrated, her being frustrated, and you even more frustrated, because why you got this woman that's frustrated at the fact that you ain't doing nothing when you already know you ain't doing nothing. It just leads to a bunch of drama that you don't need. So if you understand that one fact about women, that they are multipliers, and the best thing you can do is give them something to multiply positively, and the worst thing you can do is give them something to multiply negatively, you'll be all right, if you can understand this concept that I just broke down. But I got a meeting, so I got to go, and I appreciate you guys. And remember, you are enough. I'm rooting for you, and I appreciate you tuning in to this live. And go be great, because I know you can be, and you are, because you're a king. I'm out.